From backstage, an elderly man waits patiently. His hands are rough, marked by decades of hard labor. His clothes are simple, clean but worn, the kind worn by someone who values honesty over appearance. His name is Ernesto Cruz, a 71-year-old carpenter from a small village in the Philippines. For most of his life, Ernesto worked with wood, nails, and broken dreams. Music was never his profession, only his comfort. As a child, Ernesto grew up in deep poverty. His parents struggled to put food on the table, and school was a luxury they could not afford for long. By the age of 10, Ernesto was already helping his father carry wooden planks and tools to construction sites. His hands learned the weight of hammers before they ever held a pen properly. Yet, in the evenings, when the work was done and the village grew quiet, Ernesto would sing. He sang old Filipino folk songs, love ballads he heard on a small radio, and hymns from the local church. His voice was not trained, but it was full of soul. Singing became his escape, his way of forgetting hunger and exhaustion. But dreams are fragile when survival comes first. As he grew older, Ernesto put his love for music aside and focused entirely on work. He became a carpenter, known in his village for his honesty and skill. He built houses, repaired roofs after storms, and crafted wooden furniture for neighbors who could barely pay. Many times, Ernesto worked for food instead of money. He raised 3 children with his wife, Maria, who believed in him even when life was at its hardest. She was the one who always told him that his voice was special. Years passed, and life took its toll. Ernesto's children grew up and moved away to find work. Maria fell ill, and medical bills consumed their savings. When she passed away, Ernesto was left alone in a small wooden house filled with memories. Music returned to him in those lonely nights. He sang to cope with the pain, to feel close to his wife again. One day, while watching television at a neighbor's house, Ernesto saw America's Got Talent. He watched ordinary people step onto a grand stage and do extraordinary things. When he saw the golden buzzer moments, tears filled his eyes. Maria had once joked that one day he would sing on a big stage. That memory stayed with him. Encouraged by neighbors and his children, Ernesto recorded a simple audition video using an old phone. There were no fancy edits, no studio lighting. Just an old carpenter standing in his small house, singing with his heart. Weeks later, when he received the call that he had been selected to audition in America, he thought it was a prank. When it became real, he cried for hours. Now, standing backstage, Ernesto closes his eyes and whispers a prayer. He is not here for fame. He is here for a promise he once made to his wife and for every poor child who dreams silently in the dark. His name is called, and he slowly walks onto the stage. The audience applauds politely as he introduces himself. His accent is strong, his voice trembling slightly as he speaks. He tells the judges he is a carpenter from the Philippines. Simon raises an eyebrow, curious. When asked why he came to America's Got Talent, Ernesto smiles gently and says he wants to prove that dreams have no age. The judges ask about his family, and Ernesto speaks about his wife, his work, and his long life of labor. His honesty touches the audience. Then it is time to perform. The music begins, soft and emotional. Ernesto takes a deep breath and starts to sing. From the very first note, the room changes. His voice is warm, rich, and filled with emotion. It carries the weight of a lifetime of struggles, love, and loss. Every word feels real, every note sincere. The audience leans forward, completely silent. Some people place their hands over their mouths in disbelief. Simon Cowell, known for his harsh critiques, sits frozen. His eyes soften as he listens. He is no longer judging technique or stage presence. He is listening to a soul speak through music. As Ernesto reaches the chorus, his voice cracks slightly, not from weakness but from raw emotion. Tears begin to fall in the audience. The song tells a story of perseverance, of a man who never gave up even when life tried to break him. Ernesto sings not just for himself but for millions who have felt invisible. When the final note fades, there is a moment of complete silence. Then the theater erupts into thunderous applause. The crowd stands on their feet, cheering and clapping. Ernesto bows his head, overwhelmed. He wipes tears from his eyes, barely able to comprehend what is happening. The judges rise as well, applauding with genuine admiration. Simon is the first to speak, but his voice is different than usual. It is emotional, shaky. He tells Ernesto that in all his years on the show, he has heard many voices, but very few come from a place so deep and honest. He admits that the performance moved him in a way he did not expect. Sophia wipes tears from her eyes and says that Ernesto's voice feels like a warm hug from someone who understands pain. Heidi praises his courage and heart, saying that his story gives hope to millions of older people who think it is too late to dream. Howie stands, clapping, and calls the performance unforgettable. Then something extraordinary happens. Simon pauses, looks at the audience, and then at Ernesto. He says that moments like this are why the golden buzzer exists. The crowd gasps as Simon slowly reaches for the buzzer. Ernesto looks confused, not fully understanding what is happening. Simon presses the golden buzzer, and golden confetti rains down from above. The audience screams with joy. Ernesto drops to his knees, crying uncontrollably. His hands shake as he looks around, trying to take it all in. Simon walks around the desk and embraces him on stage. In that moment, barriers disappear. It is no longer a judge and a contestant. It is one human recognizing the beauty in another. Simon whispers words of encouragement, telling Ernesto that his voice deserves to be heard around the world. The cameras capture every emotion, every tear, every smile. Back home in the Philippines, Ernesto's village watches the moment live. Neighbors scream with excitement, children jump up and down, and elderly friends cry proudly. Ernesto's children watch from thousands of miles away, overwhelmed with joy and disbelief. For Ernesto, the golden buzzer is more than a ticket to the live shows. It is validation of a life that often felt unseen. It is proof that hard work, humility, and kindness can still be rewarded. It is a message to every carpenter, farmer, laborer, and dreamer that their stories matter. As the confetti settles, Ernesto stands again, supported by Simon and the judges. He thanks them repeatedly, his voice shaking. He says this moment is for his wife, his children, and everyone who never stopped believing in him. The audience responds with even louder applause. In the weeks that follow, Ernesto's story goes viral around the world. Millions watch his audition online, sharing it with messages of inspiration. People from different countries write to him, thanking him for reminding them not to give up. His simple life becomes a symbol of hope. Despite the sudden fame, Ernesto remains humble. He continues to speak about his roots, his work as a carpenter, and the importance of staying true to oneself. He says that if his story inspires even one person to chase their dream, then everything was worth it. As the competition continues, Ernesto prepares for the live shows with guidance and support, but no matter what happens next, his golden buzzer moment has already secured his place in the hearts of millions. It is a reminder that talent is everywhere, sometimes hidden behind years of struggle and silence. This story teaches us that dreams do not expire. They wait patiently for the right moment to rise. Ernesto Cruz walked onto that stage as an old carpenter, but he walked off as a symbol of courage, resilience, and the power of the human spirit. If this story touched your heart, remember to share it with someone who needs hope today. Life can be hard, but moments like this remind us that miracles are real. Thank you for watching. Thank you for believing in stories that matter, and we will see you again in the next video.